Oregon became a pioneer in its commitment to the environment when it enacted the first ever bottle bill in 1971. This bill required that all soda and beer containers carry a 5-cent deposit, which was paid at the time of purchase and would be refunded when the containers were brought back to the store for recycling. According to the Department of Environmental Quality, the original law was designed to control litter. While the latest update to this law, which went into effect in 2009, was devised as a means to increase recycling and decrease the amount of non-degradable products ending up in the landfills. From this time, bottled water and most energy drinks were required to carry the same deposit, thereby increasing the number of redeemable containers exponentially. The laws have successfully increased the number of containers that are recycled annually. When Oregon's bottle bill was enacted, recycling was rare, even in our environmentally friendly state. Nowadays in Oregon, anything but recycling is considered irresponsible behavior. In fact, according to the Oregonian, Fred Meyer is eliminating Class 11 of its local area stores. The desire to clean up the environment, relentlessly recycle every scrap piece of paper, and rinsing every can and placing it into an environmentally friendly bag for future recycling is something to be applauded. Oregon is one state where people will go the extra mile to recycle their items. In addition to the available of curbside recycling, mandatory in many communities, this makes the recycling cardboard, glass, and plastic easy. According to an article in the Oregonian, the state has decided to increase recycling rates further by providing funding for a redemption center located in Northeast Portland. Such a center would exist for the sole purpose of recycling beverage containers. This redemption center, along with the bottle bill itself and many other recycling opportunities available in Oregon, has made the state a leader in recycling efforts, and there is nothing to indicate that this behavior will not continue as time goes on. However, it's just behavior that may render the bottle bill redundant. Some would argue that in a state as environmentally aware as Oregon, it does not need such legislation. Granted, there will always be individuals who will not participate in any recycling program, no matter how easy it is, or how much penalty is levied for not doing so. According to Blue Oregon, our current overall recycling rate is about 50%, and that's overall, not just beverage containers. And the Oregon Department of Environmental Quality states that, as of 2005, there are still over 300 million beverage containers not recycled every year. This number is up from the 2002 number, which ranged from 220 to 270 million containers. However, many more Oregonians would gladly recycle if there was a greater reward for doing so than just 5 cents, which they had to pay in the first place, especially during this time of recession and financial crisis. For example, if they could get a significant credit on their monthly garbage bill because they separated all of their recyclables, even ardent non-recyclers would likely take advantage of that program. While separating would cost more time, it would be less than the time spent redeeming all those cans and bottles. One of the reasons that the 300 million containers are not recycled is because of convenience. The non-recyclers resent having to load bags and bags of cans and bottles into their cars and drive to the store to recycle them. This inconvenience is likely to increase because of the redemption centers mentioned previously. The first of these centers, located in Wood Village, replaces the redemption centers at 3 area stores. That means if you were originally going to return your bottles at the Wood Village Walmart, you now have to drive almost a mile out of your way to return the containers to the redemption center. Furthermore, it is the plan of the Oregon Beverage Recycling Cooperative, a group of distributors and grocers, to eventually eliminate all returns at large stores and replace them with distribution centers all over the state, or redemption centers all over the state. The reduction in the number of locations where containers can be redeemed will increase the overall inconvenience to recyclers, and as a consequence of that, overall beverage container recycling rates may drop. The last issue involved in the bottle bill legislation is what to do with the unredeemed deposits. These deposits are currently estimated at a whopping $12 million, according to the Department of Environmental Quality's fact sheet. These funds are currently held by the beverage distributors. which increased their bottom line. However, there's been movement gathering speed in the Oregon legislature, which would require the distributors to turn some or all of that money over to the state. According to Blue Oregon, House Bill 3465 would first require that every distributor document the number of containers sold and returned and the number of deposits paid out each quarter. Secondly, most of the unredeemed funds would be sent to the state to fund education, health care, and to promote an environmental sustainability program around the state. In this way, it becomes more of a tax instead of a deposit. I must confess that I'm not much of a recycler. I have greater things to worry about than where the can that once held my green beans that I had for dinner will end up. Unfortunately, and much to my chagrin, as long as the bottle bill is in place, my family will continue to load up my trunk with bags and bags of sticky cans. We will then transport them to the dirty and somewhat unsanitary redemption locations, where we will spend our valuable time loading each individual item into a machine. We will invariably wait while store attendants fix machines or replace filled bins with empty ones. And when finished, we will take our little receipts into the store while we will stand in either the checkout line or a line at customer service and wait to get our pittance. Do we do all of this because this is how we want to spend a glorious summer day? No. We do this because our state legislates our green morality, and if we don't recycle these items, the already lucrative beverage industry just gets richer. Or the state of Oregon gets more funds to spend irresponsibly. The bottom line is that recycling should be a choice. If you want the most people possible to recycle, then give them a better economic reason for doing so, such as the reduced waste management costs mentioned earlier. This would also increase the convenience factor, which makes it more likely that people would recycle the beverage containers. If Oregon was to use methods like this, and considering that Oregonians are arguably the most environmentally responsible people in the world, this would make legislation such as the bottle bill and House Bill 3465 redundant and unnecessary.